Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Toledo, your host on Dent PDR, a podcast about PDR training, tutorials, interviews, and much more. So get something to eat, drink, and start pushing. It's time to listen. What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Toledo. I have a special guest here I've been telling you guys about that we were going to bring on a while ago. And if you heard me talk about contracts before, like I was saying, how can you work without contracts? And I said, well, my good friend Dan, he works specifically on hail and he does not work anything without a contract. But we were going to get to that. That's not the main reason why we were bringing him in here. We are going to touch base on that. Welcome, Dan Ontrop, to Dan O'Dents. How you doing, man?
Mike Toledo, how are you doing, man?
Good.
I would say long time no see, but we just saw each other, a couple months ago?
Yeah, you came to my house, and then we did a voiceover for something, and then we shot some video, and lo and behold, that's why we're here on this podcast. We're gonna talk about what you got in store here. And before we get into that, let's get some history. Okay.
Yeah, we got tons of it.
How do we know each other? I'll let you kind of do that.
Yeah, so back in 2000, I would say 9, it started. I kind of started hating my job, and it became a job. I was a BMW technician, and had been doing that for about 8 years, and I was sick of it, man. So had a guy come in that did hail at the dealership on a couple cars. I de-trimmed them all, did all the R&I, and I thought I crushed it, man. I flagged like 20 hours in like half a day, and I was feeling high, right? And so I went to flag the RO, and lo and behold, this gentleman had his invoice stapled to the back of the RO. So I quickly found out that I didn't crush it and didn't make killer money in half a day. I found out this guy did, right? So that in a roundabout way, a year later led me to you for training back in, it would have been May of 2010. So
that long ago, dude. Like it feels like yesterday,
yeah.
But
I know, man. It does not seem that long ago, but I came out to you. We did training one-on-one for a month, and had a great time. I had never pushed a single dent until you were over my shoulder. I had zero body shop experience. All mine was on the mechanical end. But yeah, so that's how our relationship started.
You did fantastic, by the way. Matter of fact, if you ever take a look, you can see on YouTube, look up Dan Ontrop Dent Time. You'll see his first attempt at a body line dent, and he did a fantastic job. But by the way, dude, you look young as hell there, dude. You look like you're 19, dude, right there, dude.
Yeah, I got some more gray hair now, and several kids under my belt, and probably a couple more pounds under the belt also. But yeah, it was a blast, man. I had so much fun. Your training is top notch. It was. It's not just the training; it's obviously the friendship too. I've leaned on you a lot over the years, and vice versa. My track has kind of changed a little bit from when I trained with you. At that time,
so what happened? How'd you get there? How'd that hail thing come out? Dude?
I remember coming out to you, and you, I think, said something to me about hail, and I said, well, hail, there's not even talk about, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm fixing door dings. I'm never going to do hail. I'm never going to, leave the house. That's why I'm doing this, to be home more. That lasted for a year. And in May of 2011, for all you guys that are in the industry in 2011, especially you hail guys, it was a year unlike any other. I hope we have another year like it someday, but man, I don't know. 2011 was an unbelievable hail season. And one of my accounts took a direct hit, a dealership, the whole inventory got hit. They had a collision center, and the whole town received golf ball size hail. So it was great damage. I worked that storm exclusively doing hail there from May 26th, 2011 until my daughter was born October. So I worked to the beginning of October, and then took about a month off, and then fixed hail for about another 2 months after that. And then, yeah, kind of got a taste of that, got experienced, and decided to go full on hail. So that's where we've been.
Yeah, and you've come a long way. I mean, you've made a really good, solid name for yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone looks basically respects you in this industry, especially for the short time being, which we're going to get, on topic about contracts a little bit later. But
Yeah.
why are you here? Like, why? I know why I brought you on, but there's a couple two things. Okay, so you were launching a new website, right?
Yeah. I'm super excited about it. And yeah, that is why I'm here. Yep. Launching a new website called PDRcontractors.com. And the business is called PDR Contractors. So website's not live yet, but it's going to be
Well,
shortly.
it's live,
So,
but it's not to the public live.
yep.
So.
You type in PDRcontractors.com, you might see a little GoDaddy symbol or something. Yeah, you're not gonna see the goodies behind that address right now, but you will soon. The official launch is in Florida at MTE, January 11th and 12th, and we will be 100% open for business.
Now,
So,
PDR contractors, give me some details here. So it's when I hear contractors, I'm talking about, like, you're talking about other techs working the site. Is it going to be something for them? But what about the public? Are they going to be able to use it? What is this? A directory? Can you give us some details here?
yeah, so basically, PDR Contractors has been a thought in my head, and I think probably almost every technician that pushes Dent's head for several years. It's just, how do you get an idea out of your head, right? That's the hardest part. How do you put a good idea, what you think is a good idea, to paper? So I've struggled with this for years, and being in the hail industry, you see the good, bad, and the ugly, and unfortunately, there's a whole lot of ugly out there. So I have developed PDR Contractors to basically shore up the industry, make it more professional, and link technicians together through a directory. So the idea of PDR Contractors is, it's pretty simple. It's a hail and dent repair directory. So this directory is going to be viewable by the general public for free. It's I've had people kind of say, "Oh, it's kind of like an Angie's List." Well, it's not like an Angie's List. Angie's List charges, to look for contractors to use, more in the home improvement side. But we're such a specialized market that consumers have a very hard time finding us. Every city I go to, every body shop I'm in, all the time, the customer's like, I don't even know where we find you guys. Where do we even find a dent guy? How do we even go about it? And you just hear that over and over and over again. And at some point, you just say, enough's enough. Like, we have to figure this out, because if we don't, it's harming the industry
Now,
in several ways.
don't mean
So,
to interrupt you, Dan, but I mean,
yep,
because I'm going to think for these guys here right now, they're thinking like, oh
yep,
man, another directory site, dude. Like,
yeah, yeah.
how is this going to be different than the ones I've seen before, or I've joined in the past? Let me give you an example. What about compared to like something like PDR Nation? What's the difference right now? Since
Right.
you
So,
just said
so
that.
PDR Nation's whole goal was and is to promote the industry in a positive light, right? And to get people on board ethically to do the things that they're supposed to be doing as a professional PDR company. They do have a directory. It's very nice. They do a great job. But as far as networking guys, it's difficult, right? So there's several directories out there, and mine's going to be just another one until you see it.
Yeah.
It's totally different. It's interactive. So the directory is geared toward the general public, obviously, but it's so much more than that. Our goal is to provide the directory, provide networking, to provide contract templates, and to provide fulfillment, right? So the fulfillment is not me fulfilling it or my team of guys fulfilling it. It's technicians in the real world fulfilling it. And the way we're going to be totally different than everyone else is through this membership. There's two separate directories. There's a general public directory that anybody can see, free, no charge. They go to PDR Contractors, they put in a zip code, they put in how many miles they want to search, they hit search, and it shows everybody that's on directory. in their market. It's going to be pretty nice because it's a little bit different than the other directories. You're going to have several options when you fill out your profile. You can put in your Facebook account, you can put in your Instagram account, you can put in your LinkedIn account. You can do all that stuff where the customer will easily be able to click on your profile and go straight to those things, including your website, your phone number, your address. You're going to have a short bio, a picture that you can upload, all that stuff like a normal directory does. And then that customer will be able to search you and find you easily. But what's really cool about this is if you're a paid member to be listed on that directory, you have a back-end site that is for members only, that can only be seen by members. And what this directory does is it's great for the general consumer to find a dent tech, right? Because we need to help them out so they don't go to a body shop and the panels get painted when it could be PDR'd. But the problem I've seen, especially in the hail side of the game, is these hail techs, they can't be found because, let's be honest, we're gypsies. We're all over the place. No one knows where we are. And that includes you, Mike Toledo, as a local PDR brick and mortar. You call me all the time and you say, where you at, right? You don't know. You say you're fixing hail somewhere, right? Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow this backsite directory to be editable at all times, and people can actually input their current location of where they are located
in real time.
So they'll be able to upload where they are so that people like yourself can independently staff a storm if you need help, or have a retail dent staff from a customer that you're just not able to get to. So let's play an example out, right? Because everybody's saying, well, okay, that sounds pretty crazy. How's that supposed to work? Pick a metro area, Mike. Where's a metro area that could get smoked with hail? You pick one.
St. Louis.
St. Louis. That's a pretty good choice, right? Happens about every year. So St. Louis gets smacked with hail. What happens when there's a huge metro area that gets hit with hail? What do hail guys do?
You have a circus.
Yeah, everybody flocks to town, right? Yep. Everybody flocks to town, tries to find somewhere to go, somewhere to work. It's chaos. They're going in. They don't know local guys, so they're going in and they're just trying to get shops at percentages, because that's the only way they can really compete, because they're not local, so they can just compete on price, right? So what I do is I always work for local guys or myself. I've preferred not to work for large companies. I've been fortunate enough to not have to, and that's just a lot of hustle and getting out there. But to work for a local guy can be difficult, because a local guy doesn't know how to find you unless you find him, right? Yeah. So the idea is, on PDR Contractors, as a technician, and this is just one of the benefits of many, I could go to St. Louis. As soon as I get there and check into the Holiday Inn Express, I have to update my location on my profile on pdrcontractors.com, and it shows me available in that market to work right now. And that local PDR company can go in there and search for dent repair technicians in his area in real time and see who's available for work. So that gives him the ability to staff storms.
So but on another note, though, he can do it. He can do it on below the radar, off the radar, and
Absolutely.
contact people underground, basically, and pick and choose these people on the back end site without saying, hey, or on Facebook, or make an announcement, hey man, I need 10 guys. That can he private message him, or you just contacts him, calls him, or sends him? Is there a way to send a message? How does that work?
You're not going to be able to send a message through the site, but you'll have, everybody will have each other's information via their profile. So you can view their profile.
That's better. Just direct call, phone call.
Direct call, text, whatever. You don't have to mess around with Facebook messaging. Some people have it.
Dude, that's nice. So that's really, really nice, dude.
Yeah. So it's instant, man. So the idea is for these local guys to feel confident when their market does get hit, to know that they've got technicians in the bullpen, right? So, but we all know technicians are not created equal. That's just the way it is, right? There's some guys that have more qualifications, more experience than others. So that got me thinking, and I said, well, that's a great feature, right? That's really cool that I can put somebody on somebody's radar that they could potentially subcontract, right? But I knew it couldn't stop there, because, as as a subcontractor, when I go work for a company, a local company, I am now their employee. I need to operate as their employee and I need to look like their employee, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So looking like their employee means if they have Mobile Tech RX and that's what they invoice off of, that means I have to know how to use Mobile Tech RX and I have to invoice off of it, right? That means if they tell all of their accounts, hey, we only use guys that have general liability and workers' compensation to keep our liability down and to keep your liability down. So just be assured that if we are here working a storm and I have to bring subcontractors in, the only guys that'll be in here will be fully insured with general liability and workers' compensation. So all of a sudden you're like, well, holy smokes, I've just maybe eliminated a bunch of technicians that I don't know, right? So how is that going to help me if you put a technician in my area, but I don't know what their qualifications are? Well, we've added a customized search, which is really slick. It's people are going to love this, but so we have different parameters that people will be able to search on that site. So you can go in just like the general public and put in a zip code, put in how many miles you want, and hit search, and it'll show you all the technicians in that area. But you can customize it. You can filter it out and sort it, and we'll have check boxes. So check boxes would include, for example, available to work. They would include Mobile Tech RX subscriber. They would include workers' compensation, general liability, hail technician, local route technician, R&I technician. All these different.
What about IMI certified? Like
Absolutely.
yeah.
EV hybrid certification. Absolutely. If you had a crazy hailstorm out in San Diego, there's Teslas everywhere. I mean, I Ubered from La Jolla one night in a Tesla,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
So if you actually can customize the technician that you want to hire, so you can say, okay, I want a technician that has this, and this, and I check 6 out of the 10 boxes, right? And then I hit search, it will only show me technicians in the area that meet those criteria.
This is very, shall I say, it is very customized for this industry. I mean, these Dan, is really, really, really well thought out too. I mean,
yeah. I mean, but it's what we need, and ultimately people will say, well, that's a great theory, a great idea, but how does that help me? How does that help me as a local technician, right? Well, it helps you because you can staff your storm. You don't have to rely on other people to find technicians to staff your storm. And we all know what that leads to, right? That just leads to more money going in to more areas. There are absolutely storms that need managed by professional technicians that cannot be done by a local guy. Absolutely. There always will be. But there's also local guys that have the ability to manage their storm. They just need the technicians.
What does it have a section where it's like a section says manage storms, or what is that title?
One of the boxes is you check a box if you have storm management experience.
Okay.
Now, obviously, you could check that box and have no experience, right? But like I tell everybody, it's you filter them out, and then once you narrow it down to 10 technicians, you find the best 3 that you think are qualified. You make the phone call and you say, hey man, give me a couple references. I just need to do a final quick check on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure
You ain't a dumbass just sitting there just
right.
taking their word for it.
Yeah. So, but what did we just do? We just filtered out potentially hundreds of technicians down to a list of 5 within minutes. And that they're available for work because they have the available for work box checked in their profile. If you're working a storm and you don't want to be contacted, you just uncheck that box. You don't show up on a map. You're not enticed to leave storms, to jump storms, for the grass is greener type deal. So you can be a gypsy like we're used to being and turn your location off on your Facebook. And if you're in this killer honey hole storm, you want nobody to know where you're at, you just turn it off. No one knows where you are. That's the great thing. You decide.
Wow. No kidding. Jesus.
So, I mean, it benefits local guys. Obviously, the chasers, it greatly benefits because it puts them in a position to be seen for work right now. We hear guys all the time that are like, man, I was in that town looking for work, but I couldn't find any. How did you land something here? Well, I got a hold of the local guy. Well, how'd you find out who the local guy was? Well, I had a buddy that knew somebody that knew somebody. And well, when did you get in town? Oh, I just got here 2 days ago. He's like, man, I've been here a week. He's like, well, I told him I couldn't be here for a few days. Take that out of the equation.
Yeah.
Most guys, when it happens, they need people right now. And they need them quickly. Otherwise they have the potential to lose that account.
Okay. I'm the technician. You're telling me all this information. And my next question is like, okay, how are you going to promote this? Like, say a storm does hit St. Louis. How is that going to promote? Are you, obviously you are, how are you going to be able to cover different storms that happen in different parts of the states? Like, how is PDR contractors going to, be seen?
Yeah. Well, the great thing about it is, we're going to take the membership money and we're going to put it back to use for them, through Google AdWords. I mean, let's face it, everybody searches now. Nobody's driving to a body shop 20 minutes away to go get an estimate or to figure out what to do next. The storm hits, they jump on their phone or they jump on their desktop and they say, hail damage repair near me. Or they say, door ding repair.
Now you're speaking my language. So you're going to take the membership money I put into this and you're going to take it and market it basically and market for the next, for the storm.
I mean, obviously not all of it. There's, but yeah, I mean, that is the idea. We have to be seen, right? As technicians, that is the number one goal. That's what a directory is. A directory's made to be seen. The last thing I want to do is build this phenomenal website that does all these things except get seen by the general public. That serves me no good. That serves its members no good. The back end stuff's great. The networking's great. The contract templates are great. The fulfillment's great. But bottom line, we want to be the first choice for repair. So if I can't connect the general public to you as a PDR technician, I'm not doing my job. And in turn, you're not going to renew your membership. So it's simple. I do my job. I keep my end of the bargain. I put a good product out there. You renew your membership. So
how long have you been working on this site, dude?
So when I made the decision, I sat down with Cindy, my wife. We were sitting, I was home this summer for a little bit. This was a pretty busy second half of the season for me. But we were sitting there on a glider on the back of the house, just sitting there, just talking.
Drinking old Milwaukee.
Yeah, I stepped up a little bit.
You stepped
I
up.
had like a Green Man or something in my hand, but
Cruise Light.
But yeah, maybe I would probably still drink old Milwaukee Light, but I can't get it anywhere around here. So it's either moonshine or the major beer companies. But so I basically pitched it to her and said, look, I've been thinking about this for a long time. And I pitched it to her and I said, if I can get your blessing, I would love to run with this thing, see where it can go. We talked about it and she said, let's try it, go for it. I support you. So that was, I think, in July. And shortly after that, it was train was going down the track, so it was, I've been working, oh my gosh, really hard on this since the beginning of November. I finished up my hail season in November. I started the website development in August. But it's been a full-on project now for coming up on 5 months. So
I took a tour of it today. Really got to go into it for the first time. You gave me the link a couple days ago, but today was the first time I really had a chance to go look at it, and it looks awesome, Dan. I mean, it's really clean, really loads fast. If anybody has a website, you really want it to load fast. It's user-friendly, mobile-friendly, and that's a big benefit for people who are signing up to it. It's not one of those heavy websites, and it's real clean. It lets the customer understand right off the bat on the homepage what that website's clearly about. And what I like is that the customer has no idea what the back end is like for the text behind it too. It's like you have two worlds. It has two worlds in it. So what a real cool, what a really nice concept, Dan. And
I think it's going to be, I mean, I was talking to my partner, Mike Kreiner, the other night on the phone, and he He's funny. He was the first one I pitched this to other than my wife. Right. So, and Mike and I are together all the time. I mean, we're working.
That guy?
Yeah. All the time, 12 hours a day. A lot of times we're sharing Airbnbs or, apartments or whatever. So we're together all the time. And, he told me 2 nights ago, he said, when you first pitched this to me, I thought it was terrible. He said, I thought it was horrible. I was like, dang, Mike, like, you could at least told me that, like, he said, well, I didn't want to tell you that because I knew you would just get mad at me, and we still had to work together for a couple more months. So I didn't tell you that, So, but obviously I've been leaning on him a lot for just feeling him out, what he thinks overall now. And he told me 2 nights ago, he said, I did think it was just a really gimmicky idea that wasn't going to work, but he said, I truly believe this could change the industry forever. And he's been a hail tech for almost 20 years. So he's been around, he's seen the game. And, I really think if the technicians support PDR contractors, this can change the industry in a very positive way.
Well, I do. I think it's going to be really good, Dan, especially the part where they can network behind the scenes and really, like you said, filter out.
It's not just, I mean, if you want to network, so here's the other thing. Every storm I go to, right, I work as hard as I can, as hard as I possibly can to get home as quick as I can. I mean, everybody that's worked with me or knows me knows that if I work past 20 weeks a year, I get unhappy. I shoot for 16, 20's still a good number. In 24, I'm kind of miserable. I do not want to be on the road, but I will tell you this. I never passed up a networking opportunity. Never. Whether I want to go or not, I go, because I know how important that stuff is. And just on the technician finder page on the back end, it's not just for work. If people know where you're currently located, it's easy to shoot somebody a text and be like, hey, Mike, man, I've been wanting to meet you for a long time. I've, got some really cool ideas I'd like to bounce off of you. I see you're in Colorado Springs right now. I'm here too working. You want to, go grab a beer.
So I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're saying this. You're building a community behind here.
Absolutely. And you don't have to post it on Facebook and say, hey, who's in Colorado Springs this weekend? I'd like to get together. And then all of a sudden you got 40 guys, a mini MTE at the bar, and you can't talk to anybody. Right.
Yeah.
So in me, I like to keep my network very, very, very small. I don't branch out a whole lot. I don't work with a ton of different guys. I got the guys that I trust, that I know, that do the things that the way I do them.
On the same page. Yeah.
So you'll never find me posting on a forum and say, hey man, who wants to do this? I'm up for whatever, because I know what it can turn into. Like, it can turn into just chaos. Right.
Yeah.
And that's not good for business. So yeah, it's a community, and the more people network, the more people connect. Honestly, it all rolls back to better prices, better repairs, more professionalism, and just, let's keep our business. Don't let the PDR business become the body shop business.
Yep.
We don't need to be subcontracting,
so
for body shops.
Technically, these guys, I mean, you don't need a broker. These guys can work it out themselves behind the closed doors on this directory.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea. I mean, that's, best case scenario, right? I'll be the first one to tell you, man. I've made money off other guys pushing dents, right? Does that make me a broker? I don't know. I mean, my definition of a broker is probably different than your definition of a broker, and then one of our buddies' definition is probably different than both of our definitions. So who is a broker? To me, a broker is somebody that doesn't bring a whole lot to the table. They staff a storm, and they don't do much else, besides take a percentage. They don't push dents. They don't show up. They may not even be in the same state, right?
They're not rolling up their sleeves and getting their hands dirty
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that.
That
Yeah.
to me, my definition, that's a broker. Do we need those guys in this business? I'm going to be flat out. My answer is no. That's my answer.
Yeah.
I don't think they're needed. Do we need people to manage storms? Absolutely. Do we need guys to be out there hustling and locking stuff down? Absolutely. Are there technicians that are happy to work for a broker? Absolutely. It is a hard job. But I don't feel like every storm requires a broker. I just don't. I mean, if you have a body shop that needs a couple guys in to fix hail damage, all you need is a couple techs, right? The technicians manage that storm. It's one body shop. Let them run the body shop. That's what works the best anyways. Nobody wants a third party that isn't there, calling the shots. It just doesn't work a lot of the times. But am I anti-broker? No. Am I a broker in some situations? Some people would say yes. I mean, I've had several guys work for me. But I'll tell you this, I'm always pushing dents right next to them.
Let's not lie about it. I mean, if anybody had the chance to do that, that's what they would do. I mean, we're not going to lie to ourselves. You know what I mean? Like if it hailed, let me tell you something, dude. If it hailed in my backyard, I'm instantly called a broker then, because I'm going to staff the guys. I'm going to be running it. That's what it is, dude. That's the title you get, dude. You inherit. But like you said, your definition of a broker and the difference of what anybody else would say can be two different things. So
and there's gonna be tons of people to dissect that and say, oh, Dano, you're a hypocrite. You don't get it. Whatever. Mike, I just know what works for me, right? And I know what's worked with where I've been and what I've done. And I do the same thing every year. And guess what? It works, so it works for me. So, I'm building a company that I know works off my template. I can't build a company that may work off somebody else's template, and it may be a great template, but you know what? I haven't seen it. So, show it to me. And that's what I'm doing with PDR Contractors. I'm showing it to people. I get people all the time they'll talk to me at MT and be like, dude, where did you work this year? I didn't hear anything from you. Oh, I was, working, in the Eastern time zone, and they're like, what? Eastern time? Where were you at? Oh, I'm just hanging out, man.
Yeah.
I don't really tell people a whole lot, because I don't want people to know. But there's a bunch of different ways to skin a cat, as they say. So this is just one way.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to work for a lot of people.
So when are you launching this website?
I'm hoping to launch the website. I'm hoping by January 1st. The official launch will be at MTE. I have a conference hall rented on Saturday, and we'll be doing presentations on PDR Contractors. I'll have a booth at MTE doing the same thing. Obviously, it's sometimes can be hard to see the value of a product without being told how the product works, right? I feel like I've done a good job on the website explaining how it works, and having, this conversation with you obviously is very beneficial, but the official launch will be at MTE. I'm going to try to get the website up, but I'm not going to bring it up until I am 100% polished with it. And we're close, but I've got some guys, testing it right now. I want to make sure all these bugs are worked out. And then at MTE, we're going to be doing a MTE special sign up. So don't be concerned that if you don't see it right when it comes out, you're not going to be able to get in on it. We're going to be doing the special for the whole month of January. So if you sign up with PDR Contractors by January 31st, you'll be locked in for a forever rate. And that's right, I said forever. It will not change if you do not have a lapse in membership subscription.
So let me just make perfectly clear. So you're going to announce a special price, first time get in the price, and that price will be locked in for life as long as you stay a member consistently.
Yep. Yeah. And I can confidently tell you PDR Contractors is going to be around a long time. It's not going anywhere. This project is solid, and I've had tons of great feedback from several technicians from all over the United States, in several different hail techs and local brick and mortar guys and everything. So, but yeah, it's going to be a forever rate. I'm basically gonna thank the guys that get in with me at the initial start. I mean, it's a startup company, right? And they're going to be my supporters and the guys that jump on board and feel good about the product. They're going to get rewarded. So
that's awesome, man. That's really awesome. I can't wait till you launch that thing. I mean, I already know what it looks like in the back, but I want to see what everybody thinks about it. I know they're going to love it.
Yeah.
Really are. I mean, Dan, I was like giving you feedback in the middle of your designs too, dude. And we were talking about, links and, outgoing things. And then it just kept getting better and better, man. It just kept getting better.
I mean, when you picked me up from the airport in San Diego in October, it would have been the first weekend of October. We hadn't talked hardly at all about it, like hardly at all. So you pick me up at the airport and you say, all right, let's go. We had a 25-30 minute drive, and you said, all right, they tell me about it. What's it called? I mean, you didn't even know what it was called at the time. And I wish we would have recorded that conversation. I truly do, because from what it came from at that point to where it is now is amazing. And it's just going to get better and better and better once I get feedback from all the technicians, because I'm going to listen to everybody. And the site is totally customized for me. So I got a design team. I got people editing stuff every day.
Yeah, it's not a template. It's built from scratch.
No. This is custom, and anybody that's ever built a website or knows anything about websites, you're going to get on this website and say, holy cow, there is a lot of coding that went into this thing, because it's pretty crazy. I mean, all the different moving features with it. So, and
it loads fast. That's what I like about it. I'm a web guy, so I know it loads fast, dude.
Yeah. Well, the idea is to just put the material on there that's needed, right?
Yeah.
Less is more. Keep it simple. One of the cool things when I was out, the reason I came out to California, I guess we should let the guys know this, is we did a video recording, which is a video on what is paintless dent repair. And I think it is by far the best minute and a half of explanation of what PDR is to the general public that's ever been put together.
Was it even that long?
I think it was 1 minute and 22 seconds.
Doesn't you feel like it was that long?
No. Yeah. I mean, I've had several people watch it. Not PDR technicians, just random people. And that's the first thing I asked them. I said, how long do you think that video was? And they said, 40 seconds, 45 seconds, no longer than a minute.
Yeah.
And it's almost 1.5 minutes. What? That's crazy. There's a lot of information in there. It went quick. That was awesome. So, just stuff like that, where if you're a member of PDR Contractors, you can just, send somebody to this site, and it'll tell them how to handle a hail claim. It'll walk them through all the steps. It'll show them a video of how the process works. So you don't have to, fumble around with words and try to explain that we don't have a magic wand that the stuff just pops out.
Yeah.
So all the video content, and there'll be more added all the time, but the video content is high end. The photos are high end. Everything looks very clean and very nice. So.
Well, awesome, Danny. I know you're going to kick ass on that. I know people are going to really appreciate the functionality of it and how well it's going to work for everybody. So, congratulations on that. Hit Dan up at MTE, get in on that thing, and I'm sure you'll be impressed on how it goes.
Yeah, you won't be able to miss us at MTE. And then if you come to one of our presentations on Saturday, me and the boys at PDR Profit are joining up. We're combining forces. So the guys of you that don't know or haven't heard of PDR Profit, it's a new company that's being created by the Corden boys, Paul and Tim, and Todd Zimmerman from Carbon Tech. I'm going to tell you right now that there are very few people in this business that I trust 100%, and I value everything that comes out of their mouth. And those guys are three of them. They are unbelievable. I've worked personally with Tim and Paul in the past, side by side, and I don't have enough. I can't say enough good things about them. So we are always in communication on how we can help each other out, and this just seemed like a natural fit. So on Saturday, at room W102, we are going to have the room for the whole day. PDR Profit's going to do 2 presentations. PDR Contractors going to do 2 presentations, both an hour long, but we're going to give plenty of time for overlap and lunch and all that stuff. So there'll be one each in the morning, one each in the afternoon. And then at 3:30, if you come to a presentation, you're going to get a raffle ticket. All we're doing is saying, come in, listen to us, just listen to us. And you make the decision whether it's something you'd be interested in. But if you come in, you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to ask any questions. You get a raffle ticket. And at 3:30, we're having a live raffle. And we're going to pack that hall, and we're going to give away a bunch of stuff.
Do you got to be there?
Got to be there.
Okay.
Yep, you got to be there.
Right.
So if you come to a presentation, you just need to come on back. It's going to start at 3:30. We'll be wrapped up in probably 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. But yeah, you got to be present. We're gonna rattle the numbers off, and also you can stop by our booths, either the PDR Contractors or the Carbon Tech booth. PDR Profit will be set up at Carbon Tech's booth. That's Todd's other business. So if you come by the booth, either one of them, and talk to us about our service, there's a good chance we'll hand you a raffle ticket there too. That way you don't have to go to a presentation if you don't want to.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah. So either way, you catch me. I'll probably have a whole pocket full of raffle tickets walking around the show. So if you grab me and you give me your ear and let me tell you about this killer service, you're going to get a raffle ticket. So,
well, good. That's good news, man. You got a lot of powerful details and information on that website. And not to mention, there's one other thing. Let's get into this other one. So we're getting like 41 minutes of this podcast. I have a feeling it's going to go well into an hour. Of course, there's a lot of good stuff. You still there with me, Dan? Yeah.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah.
Let's talk about contracts, which is, I know you work with contracts. I've always worked with contracts. I'm not a hail tech, full-time hail tech. I've worked for other people. I didn't have these run-ins and I've heard a lot of them where people show up to hailstorms and they hope to get paid, right? I mean, they're working their tails off, dude. And they could get paid or they couldn't get paid. And what the hell? Why would people want to keep doing that, their whole career, hoping that they're going to get paid? Just give us a quick story of why you started having a contract, why you don't work any hailstorm without a contract, correct? Whether you're handling it yourself or you're working for a local guy, is that correct?
Yeah. So I have worked for local guys in the past without being under contract. Now, that being said, I'm very picky who I work for.
Yeah.
Most of the guys I work for are repeats. We work in markets that receive hail every year, and we honestly work for the same people every year. When I developed this and got really serious with it lately, my contact list is pretty solid. I feel really good about the guys I work with. But moving forward, I am absolutely going to implement this complete system. Now, when I am on my own, I love working for myself. Who doesn't, right? And I've done it several times, and I've had several subcontractors. I work under a contract when it's for Dano Dents. That's my company, Dano Dents, hail damage repair. To me, I'll tell you how it started is I was just like everybody else. Love a handshake agreement. I love looking somebody in the eye and saying, this is what we're going to do for you. And they say, that's awesome. Go get them, boy. And you go do your thing and everybody's happy. In 2012, my partner, Mike, and I, we were lucky enough to have one of our accounts get hit, took a direct hit. The whole dealer inventory received damage. There was 450-ish cars that received damage. And then the whole community received damage too. They had a large body shop, a lot of retail cars coming in also. We unfortunately, we had the deal. We were their guys, no problem. We estimated all the cars. Everything was looking great. We had the numbers just honestly where they should be. They were phenomenal, but it's where they should be. And we then were presented with an ultimatum of you either come down to this price or we're going to go a different route. We love you guys. You're our guys, but you're only our guys for this number. We had already started work, but there were obviously dozens of companies soliciting them, promising them the world. So we had a decision to make. We negotiated. We kept the body shop at what we had it at, and we did have to come down on the wholesale cars. So that was unfortunate. That was a very big a loss financially. Obviously, on 400 units, that's a high number. So that hurt. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was when it came to get paid. We finished the job in 3 weeks. When I bring subcontractors in, I always try to make the storm last at minimum 2 weeks and maximum 1 month. A couple of reasons. I'm a technician. I like to push and make money pushing. And I want the guys that work with us to also make a significant amount of money and make it worth their time. So we had, I think it was 12 guys that were working for us. And I was on the hook at the end of those 3 weeks to some of those guys for just under 6 figures. And the deal was done, and I was basically telling people it was time to pack tools, and I had not even received a hint of getting paid. I had brought it up. I had got squashed. And that day I went into the office and said, I need paid, today. We had basically made the agreement that when I invoice, I will be paid 7 days after invoice. That did not happen. That didn't come close to happening. So it was awkward. I did end up getting paid. Like I said, the stress level was through the roof. We were talking about, getting close to the 7-figure mark. That makes you sweat a little bit. It makes your subcontractors unhappy, rightfully so, because I told them they would be paid in a timely manner. And to me, a timely manner is 2 weeks. And it didn't happen. So that was an egg on my face. Everybody got paid. Everybody ended up, it worked out, but it was tough to get paid. I ended up getting paid in full. But it took almost a month and a half after repairs were completed.
So you basically said, "That's it. That shit ain't gonna happen to me again, dude."
Exactly. I've probably said a few other words in with that, but yeah, that month of my life probably aged me, honestly, years. So it's not happening again. I just drew a line in the sand right there. So 2012 hail season comes to an end after that storm. I think we finished up in November at that dealer and body shop. And I got to work right away on a contract. I found out real quick that it's hard to develop a contract in the paintless dent repair industry. I talked to several attorneys from several different states. We're transient businesses. We're crossing state lines. Nobody likes that. They can't practice law in different states. I didn't realize how complicated it would be. But I stayed the course. I was bound and determined to not have that feeling again and not have that liability. So I took it upon myself to get one developed, a contract that I was extremely happy with, and was able to revise when I saw fit. So I started using that in 2013. And it was just a night and day difference. It was crazy how, if implemented the right way, how it can change your company immensely, both financially and liability wise. So implemented it in 2013, consistently evolved it, added some templates. And I feel like I've at the point now that I've got a package that is a home run.
Dude, I would contact you as soon as I hear this right now. I'd be contacting you right now. Seriously, I would be like, and before the next hailstorm hits, I'd have that in my hand, in my briefcase, wherever, in my truck, whatever, ready to rock and roll. I mean, you technically that's a sign. If somebody doesn't want to sign with you and feels uncomfortable having a contract, then hit the road. I mean, that's just telling you right up front, man.
Yeah, it's not just a sign. It's like that welcome to Las Vegas flashing bulbs everywhere sign.
Yeah.
Like, it is like, dude, you need to run. Unless you got, $500,000 laying around that you don't care to part ways with, to pay your subcontractors, then by all means roll the dice. But I'm not doing it. I've shared this contract with people in the industry, for several years. I just came to a point, guys were calling me 2 minutes before they're getting ready to walk into a dealer principal office and try to sell this contract that I'm emailing them right now. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, well, you can't sell this contract. You don't even know what it says. You don't even know how to use it. And finally I just said, this is crazy. Like, I'm going to put this package together. I'm going to get this in guys' hands before it hails, so they can lock down their accounts at percentages and get them on a retainer program.
So are you trying to say, hold on a second, are you trying to say that, let's just get straight to the point. So you have this contract now, and you're planning to basically sell this contract to people who actually need it, who would be anybody who's going to work a hailstorm, but you're also going to consult with them and train them on how to implement it when they are doing a deal and so on and so forth, right?
Absolutely. I'm not going to sell anybody my baby without them knowing how to use it, right? Because that devalues my product. And that's the last thing I want to do.
That's a good idea.
So so consulting comes along with it. Like I said, I've been using it since 2013. I've successfully went in to deals before where they were being worked by a company and renegotiated the price and had them sign a contract at a higher number. Who does that?
I think it's the smartest thing to do, Dan. I mean, I tell people all the time, look, I don't do any business without a contract. I don't train anybody without a contract.
You signed one in 2010.
You signed one. Yeah. I don't do with my subcontractors. With anybody I do big business with, any kind of business, technically. PDR College even has contracts between him and I when we speak or when someone else speaks, dude. When it comes to money, people act funny, especially when it comes to a lot of money. So you can count on that.
It's common sense, right? Like if you told anybody, hey, you may roll into a potential six-figure payday at some point in your career, do you think it would be a good idea to maybe have a contract? I mean, come on. Everybody's going to say, well, absolutely. I mean, we all pay insurance on everything, right? Our homes, our cars, our pets, whatever, for in the event, right? The worst case scenario. Well, I'll tell you what the worst case scenario is: fixing a whole bunch of cars, not getting paid for it. And that happens, unfortunately. So the idea is to get this in guys' hands, train them on how to use it. And I've had the most success using it as a retainer program. I've got dealer groups under contract in the event of a catastrophic hailstorm at percentages on my terms that I have never pushed a dent at.
Wow.
Not one. You know why? Because I look the part and I can play the part. And when it happens, I can fix the dent. So it's possible, guys. I mean, it is possible. I hear it all the time. Nobody will sign a contract. Nobody will sign a contract. And you know what? If they don't want to sign a contract, at least negotiate off your contract. And then you'll get all the answers that you want to hear. Okay, why don't you want to sign this contract? Is it because this? Is it because this? You're going to get the yes and no's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Good idea.
if somebody tells me they don't want to sign the contract, okay, why? Yeah. And then it all rolls back to, are you going to pay me?
That's right. Damn straight.
I've got very, very good, very clever with wording on how to, kind of manipulate that conversation to make it all mesh. And that's what you'll be taught. You're not just getting a piece of paper with some words on it.
Dude, you're a lot smarter than I thought in 2010, dude.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah. Honestly, Dan, that is an awesome. It really woke me up right there. You said you can see what type of person or what is wrong with the contract right there, and negotiate off of what based on your terms already. You can downplay it. Technically, you're trying to find out the truth, right? That's basically what it is.
So here's what people are going to ask me. They're going to say, "Give me real world," right? You can say all this stuff. Give me real world. Did it this year. Okay. I did exactly that. I negotiated off the contract. First storm of the year this year, in one of the markets, it was on the East Coast. Storm hit in March. We all know how first storms of the year are, right? They're tough. They're tough, especially to get good money, especially at wholesale dealerships. So went in and negotiated with the owner of this dealership, and he flat out told me, "I'm not signing your contract." And I said, "Well, that's going to be a problem because I don't work without a signed contract." So it could have ended there, right? I could have said, "If you're not signing it, I'm walking out." And he was going to tell me that because he's got 40 other guys right behind me beating the door down to try to get the work, right?
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, I said, "Okay, well, why won't you sign the contract? What is stopping you from signing the contract? Just give me some feedback. Let me know." So I got the information out of him that I needed to hear, and then I negotiated with him off the information he provided me. He didn't know he was providing it to me, but I got it all out of him. So at the end of the meeting, basically we agreed upon rewriting a one-page contract, very simple, with terms of payment. And he said, "If you supply that, I'll sign that, no problem." Perfect,
I like that.
right? Yeah. So, and then, I'll tell you this also, it's the fastest I've ever been paid at a storm, ever. We finished pushing dents on Thursday at lunchtime. I was paid in full Friday at noon.
Well, I think that contract has a lot to do with it though, because they just know that you mean business, man. You know what I mean? Yep. They're gonna mess up. I want to say something else, but they don't want to mess with you. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, let's get this dude paid.
You just put it all on the table, right?
Yeah.
Everything's on the table, and you hash it out, and then when that's done, the real job begins, and you can do your job.
Let me tell you something. I think we mentioned this earlier too, Dan. We said it off the record. We're going to say it now. Listen, if I'm working for you, Dan, right, and I know you have a contract with this dealership or wholesale account, man, I have a huge sense of security. You know what I mean? I mean, I can sleep, you know what I mean, in my hotel knowing, okay, I'm going to get paid, or I'm real confident that I can concentrate on pushing instead of worrying about concentrate if I'm going to get paid or not. Because we all, and I push tail too, wonder if we're going to get paid on time when it comes closer to payday, right? Everyone's hitting you up. Hey man, how's it looking? Are we going to still get paid on this day? I know that happens, dude. So that's just a big benefit right there. And man, it builds confidence.
The beauty of it all is when you marry that with PDRContractors.com is I can lock a dealer up under contract. And then once I know 100% it's under contract and terms of the deal are done, I can then go on PDRContractors.com, search the technicians that I want without them knowing it. And I can call them up and make one phone call and say, "I see you're here. I need you here tomorrow morning, and this is what you're going to be paid." Perfect, right? I don't have to post on Facebook. I don't have to make several calls. "Hey man, you working right now? I'm busy, but my buddy needs some work." Well, don't call your buddy. Guess what happens? His buddy shows up, right? You can do it all completely 100% under the radar and just make it a smooth operation.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Man, it's been really a powerful, super educational, eye-opener podcast right here, man. So,
yeah, it's good, man. It's good. And you got the first look at PDR Contractors. You got the first launch, first podcast.
I got first dibs.
You got it all. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you've been super beneficial. Obviously, if you guys check out pdrcontractors.com, you're gonna see the video. It looks like a Mike Toledo video, except better. It's the best he's ever done, and he's featured in some photos on there. So you'll recognize Mike on a couple of the photos on the website. But yeah, I mean, honestly, man, you've been a huge help, and I know you're really excited about it. I know there's a bunch of other people testing it right now that are super excited about it, and I cannot wait to get to Florida and present this to everybody. I am over the moon. So, stay tuned. We'll do the price launch and all that stuff in Florida, or maybe just a touch before. But we'll get you up to speed when I'm 100% ready, and we've got everything done. I don't want to give people a product that's not completed. That being said, there's stuff already in the works for next year, looking forward, that we're just going to continue to add to this site. So
yeah, and anybody who doesn't know Dan Ontrop, dude, listen, he has a hell of a reputation out there. He puts his nose to the grind. He does what he says he's going to do. If you ever met him in person, he's a straight shooter. Dan, I have all the confidence in the world that this is going to be a super success. I think anybody who gets on board is going to see that you stand behind your word, and you are going to bring the best product you can, to the industry, and really not just, of course you're in it to make a profit. That's otherwise you wouldn't do it, but you really are helping the industry. And this is a really good tool for anybody to use. So congratulations on this, man.
Yeah. So, we'll see you guys down at MTE. Like I said, you won't be able to miss the booth. We got a really nice setup. And we'd love to see it a presentation. If you do need convinced any further, or just want to know how the functionality works, I'll be doing some demos on the website. So yeah, it'd be super slick. So.
Awesome. Well, Dan, I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do.
Yeah.
All right. And listen, look out for Dan O'Dents on MTE. Hit him up, and we will see you soon. When is the Mobile Tech Expo? Just to give you everybody a heads up.
January 11th and 12th. The education day is the 10th.
So Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yep, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The show ends at 4 p.m. on Saturday, and we're doing our raffle from 3:30 to 4.
And what's your website? What's your website now? What is it going to be?
PDRcontractors.com.
Cool. And if you guys want,
you won't be able to miss it, man. And I'm going to be giving away. Stop by the booth. I'm going to be giving away pens and stickers and koozies, the nice like wetsuit neoprene koozies, not the cheap ones.
Oh, nice.
Because you know me, Mike, I like to keep my beer cold,
That's right.
Got to keep it cold. Going to be giving away t-shirts, be giving away some hats and hoodies, and we're going to be having a great time. So yeah, just please stop by, see what we got to offer, and we'll see you down there. Can't wait.
Awesome, Dan.
Just walking around, just grab me. So
you got it. And if you guys want to know what Mobile Tech Expo is about, mobiletechexpo.com. Check it out. It's going to be in Orlando, and we all look forward. I won't have a booth. I'll be running around, but anyways, we need.
You're going to be at my booth helping me.
I will be wherever. I'm a floater. All right.
No, sounds great. And just to clarify, guys, if you do not come to the show down in Florida, you'll still be available for the discount. The discount is just going to use the promo code MTE, but anybody will be able to enter that, whether they're at the show or not.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, Dan. Well, listen, I will talk to you at Mobile Tech Expo pretty soon, dude. So, all right. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right. Safe travels.
All right, dude. Take care.
All right.